There are cities in this world whose beauty dazzles the eyes but blinds the soul. Their towers rise to the heavens, their streets hum with the laughter of travelers, and their lights seem to promise endless joy. But not every shining light comes from the sun. Some radiate from fires that have burned since the beginning, fires that whisper ancient lies disguised as progress, freedom, or pleasure. A traveler may enter such places seeking wonder, only to find that he has wandered into a marketplace where the soul itself is for sale. Today, I speak not to condemn the people who dwell there, but to warn those who journey, for there are destinations that do not merely exist on maps, but also in the corridors of the heart. 5 cities, 5 temptations, each a gate leading far from the narrow path. The first city glitters like a jewel. Its architecture is breathtaking, its art unmatched, its history carved into every stone. Pilgrims go there believing they are seeking culture, yet they often find something far different. For beneath its grand halls and sacred facades, there exists an undercurrent of pride so potent it suffocates humility. Visitors are not merely invited to admire beauty, but to worship it. The city whispers that human genius alone is divine, and slowly, subtly, one forgets the Creator while marveling at the creation. In this place, art ceases to point toward heaven and begins to crown man as his own God. To walk there unguarded is to risk exchanging reverence for arrogance. The second city is drenched in celebration. Its festivals, music, and pleasures seem endless, and many journey to it in search of happiness. Yet behind the laughter lies a deeper despair. Here, pleasure is not a gift received with gratitude, but an idol demanding constant sacrifice. Joy becomes mere sensation, and sensation demands more and more until the soul is hollowed out. In this city, people confuse freedom with slavery, believing themselves liberated while they are chained to their own desires. Every street corner offers entertainment, yet the silence of eternity is drowned out by the noise. Many who enter this place come home emptier than they left, unable to recall when they last felt truly alive. The third city is a city of knowledge. Its universities are ancient, its libraries vast, and its intellectuals are revered as kings. Knowledge in itself is a noble gift, a lamp for the mind. But here, knowledge has been twisted into an idol as dangerous as ignorance. The pursuit of truth has been replaced with the pursuit of power, for knowledge in this city is wielded not to enlighten but to dominate. Its thinkers dismiss the eternal as myth, declaring themselves the sole judges of reality. Those who come seeking wisdom may leave with hearts colder than before, for in this place the greatest danger is not that one will learn too little, but that one will learn without love. The fourth city is a marketplace of every imaginable delight, where wealth flows like a river and merchants promise satisfaction in exchange for coin. Travelers are drawn to its treasures, convinced that happiness can be purchased. Yet this city has no true wealth. Its splendor is an illusion, like a banquet table laden with food that turns to ash in the mouth. Here, greed disguises itself as ambition, and generosity is mocked as weakness. Those who linger too long discover that the more they acquire, the more impoverished their souls become. It is not wrong to buy or sell, but when the market becomes a temple, every bargain is a prayer to a false god. The fifth and final city is unlike the others. It does not dazzle or delight. Instead, it draws travelers with promises of safety, order, and progress. Its laws are strict, its streets spotless, its citizens disciplined. On the surface, it seems the very picture of perfection, but beneath the calm exterior lies a darkness colder than chaos. This city has sacrificed truth for control. It offers peace, but only the peace of silence, the kind that falls over a graveyard. Here, conformity is demanded, and the individual soul is erased in the name of the collective good. Those who walk its streets too long forget who they are, until they are little more than obedient shadows. These 5 cities are more than places. They are temptations given form: pride, pleasure, false wisdom, greed, and tyranny. Perhaps you have already visited them in your heart without setting foot on foreign soil. For the true danger of these cities is not that you might travel to them, but that you might bring them home within yourself. When you choose where to journey, do not merely consult a map or a guidebook. Look inward. The narrow road is seldom lined with glittering lights, yet it leads to a kingdom where no false city can stand. The 5 cities symbolize spiritual temptations: pride, pleasure, false wisdom, greed, and tyranny. The 5 cities symbolize spiritual temptations: pride, pleasure, false wisdom, greed, and tyranny. These cities are not merely geographical locations marked on a map, but living metaphors for the hidden struggles of the human heart. Each city represents a particular path where the soul may wander when it is not vigilant, and while they may appear vastly different on the surface, they share one common trait. They promise fulfillment, but ultimately lead to ruin. The first city, pride, is the most deceptive of them all. It cloaks itself in beauty and greatness, often taking the form of noble achievements and breathtaking artistry. It whispers to the traveler that he is more than a mere creation, that he himself can rise to the status of creator. In this city, one begins by admiring greatness and ends by worshipping the self. Pride blinds a person to their dependence on higher truth, turning gratitude into arrogance. Its streets are paved with self-congratulation, and its monuments are erected not to honor the eternal, but to immortalize human accomplishment. This temptation is subtle because it often disguises itself as excellence or progress. A person may walk through this city believing they are merely appreciating beauty, while in truth they are being drawn into the worship of the human ego, a trap that leaves no room for humility or reverence. The second city, pleasure, appears to be the most harmless. It is filled with laughter, music, and endless celebration. Travelers flock here seeking happiness, believing that joy can be found in the indulgence of their senses. Yet the pleasure offered in this city is shallow and fleeting. It demands more and more, leaving its victims with an ever-growing hunger that can never be satisfied. Here, freedom is redefined as the right to pursue desire without limit, but what appears to be liberation quickly becomes slavery. Pleasure becomes a tyrant, dictating every choice, consuming every moment, until the individual is left empty and restless. The soul is meant to delight in the good gifts of life, but when those gifts are severed from gratitude and purpose, they transform into chains. In this city, laughter masks despair, and entertainment drowns out the whisper of eternity. It is not wrong to enjoy life, but when enjoyment becomes an idol, it destroys the very joy it promises to deliver. The third city, false wisdom, is perhaps the most dangerous for those who seek truth. This is a place of intellectual brilliance, where scholars and thinkers are revered like kings. Its libraries are vast, its debates endless, and its knowledge immense. Yet here wisdom has been corrupted. Knowledge is not pursued for the sake of truth or enlightenment, but as a weapon to dominate and control. In this city, the eternal is dismissed as myth, and the soul is reduced to a puzzle to be solved rather than a mystery to be cherished. Those who enter seeking clarity often leave in greater confusion, for this city teaches that there is no higher authority than the human mind. The danger here lies not in ignorance, but in a cold, calculated arrogance that twists knowledge into pride. A person may gain every fact and theory this city offers, yet lose the very heart of wisdom, which is love. The fourth city, greed, dazzles with wealth and abundance. Its markets overflow with goods, and its merchants promise satisfaction in exchange for gold. Here, Ambition is celebrated as the highest virtue, and generosity is dismissed as weakness. The more a traveler acquires, the more they crave, for in this city wealth is an illusion that never fulfills. The soul becomes a ledger, calculating gains and losses, until it forgets what true richness means. The fifth city, tyranny, is the most chilling. It is a place of order and control, where peace reigns only because dissent has been silenced. Its streets are clean, its systems efficient, and its people obedient. At first glance, it seems safe and perfect, but beneath the surface lies suffocating darkness. In this city, individuality is erased, and truth is sacrificed to maintain power. Those who remain too long forget who they are, becoming shadows molded by fear and conformity. Each of these cities embodies a temptation that can ensnare the heart, leading it far from the path of life. External beauty and progress can hide deep inner corruption that leads the soul astray. External beauty and progress can hide deep inner corruption that leads the soul astray. The world is filled with places, ideas, and experiences that on the surface seem dazzling, inviting, and full of promise. Yet beneath that glittering exterior lies a hidden darkness. There are cities whose architecture stirs awe, whose streets seem to echo with history, whose culture is praised as the height of human achievement. People travel to them expecting to encounter wonder and enlightenment, yet they often fail to see that beauty, when separated from truth, becomes a trap. When the outward appearance of a thing is perfect, it is easy to forget to question what lies beneath. A city can have grand cathedrals and ancient monuments. Its art can inspire and its music can move. But if those things have been severed from their higher purpose, they cease to lift the soul toward the eternal and instead bend it toward the worship of the temporal. This corruption is not always loud or obvious. It works silently, like a poison hidden in sweet wine. The traveler walks through streets bathed in light and does not notice the shadows gathering around their heart. Progress itself can become a false god. It is not evil to build, to create, or to innovate, but when progress is worshipped as an end rather than a means, it blinds people to what truly matters. Many places celebrate their advancements in technology, culture, and politics, and at first glance, this seems admirable. But progress without virtue becomes a weapon, one that harms rather than heals. A society can polish its surface to perfection while its foundations crumble unseen. It can speak of freedom while subtly enslaving its citizens to greed, pleasure, or fear. The outward cleanliness of streets, the efficiency of systems, the harmony of voices speaking in unison, all these things can disguise a deep rot beneath. It is like a tree that looks strong and green, while inside it is hollow and ready to fall at the first storm. This danger is especially great for the soul because humans are naturally drawn to what is pleasing to the senses. When something looks beautiful, they assume it must also be good. This assumption has led many astray throughout history. A city of immense artistic splendor may seduce visitors into believing that such splendor is proof of moral greatness. A nation of wealth and power may convince outsiders that its success is evidence of righteousness. Yet appearances are often lies. The very things that seem most impressive can be the instruments of the greatest downfall. Pride wears the mask of excellence. Pleasure dresses itself in celebration. Tyranny cloaks itself in order and safety. False wisdom speaks with eloquence and confidence. Greed appears as ambition and progress. The danger is not limited to the physical place. A person can carry these false ideals within their own heart. Just as a traveler can walk through a glittering city and fail to see its decay, so too can an individual decorate their life with achievements, possessions, and outward displays of success, while inside they are crumbling. When external beauty is mistaken for internal truth, the soul begins to wither even as the body thrives. It is possible to live in a world full of lights and noise while being surrounded by silence and darkness on the inside. This is why discernment is so essential. The soul must learn to look beyond appearances, to see the roots of a thing rather than its leaves. Corruption often begins with small compromises that go unnoticed because the surface remains intact. A society can decay for decades while its outward image improves because its leaders and people care more about how things appear than what they truly are. This same pattern exists within individuals. A person can speak words of kindness while harboring malice, perform acts of charity while secretly seeking praise, or present themselves as virtuous while living in hypocrisy. The outside looks pure, but the inside is full of decay. When this kind of duplicity spreads through a city, a culture, or a heart, destruction inevitably follows. The greatest danger is not visiting these cities physically, but allowing their spirit to take root within one's heart. The greatest danger is not visiting these cities physically, but allowing their spirit to take root within one's heart. A person may never set foot on foreign soil, may never walk the streets of places filled with pride, pleasure, false wisdom, greed, or tyranny, and yet still become a citizen of them without even realizing it. These cities are first and foremost spiritual realities, reflections of the inner battles that every soul must face. Their walls are built not of stone, but of choices, thoughts, and desires. When the mind begins to entertain the same values these cities represent, the heart gradually becomes their dwelling place. It is easy to believe that danger exists only in distant places or external influences, but the truth is far more unsettling. The real battleground is within. Temptation rarely begins with dramatic actions or bold declarations. It begins in whispers, in the subtle acceptance of ideas that seem harmless at first. Pride, for instance, can take root quietly. One does not need to travel to a city of monuments and art to fall into its grip. It begins when a person starts to view themselves as self-sufficient, when gratitude fades